Morning, morning, morning. Wait a couple of minutes for normal.
Incoming mail.
Couple more minutes. I had to try and start on time, give the other guys a chance to, not miss out or whatever. So I usually wait for my months, as you know. Morning, Brady. I've got 4 out, 2 I think sent on the mailbox, and but all 4 have been posted on the quick trade group. So there's a couple extra on there. But I'll go through them all anyway, because if you're in the trade room, you have access to them. Hot pass, let's get started. Okay, we'll start off with this one. It was sent out as a trade idea on the 7th. It's nicely in profit. We checked positions on our MT5 journal there, and most guys have taken it and out, or they modify the stop and out. But if you're still in it, hold on, it's nicely in profit, obviously. Trying to get people to understand, just because it comes out 3-4 days, another trade idea, you double up. No. But I still think it can be chased at these levels. So if you like the trade, it's been sent out. Okay, all should have received it. You're probably either pacing now or looking at it and checking it out. Don't rush it. Make sure your figures are right. This is where you need to concentrate. Don't need to natter in your brain. Shut that off, and well, not shut it off entirely, but sort of filter it out as you concentrate on placing the trade, the right volumes, etc. Okay, right. The other one was the GBP USD. That was also a sell. It hasn't been the strongest currency in the world at the moment, but we feel that the pound is very overvalued, and technically speaking, the 4 hours seems to be holding, so we might get some upside there. So hence the idea behind the trade. It has popped up a little bit, but that's trading. You're not going to pick bottoms or tops. You trade when hours at 22, it's popped up 10 pips, but then it might pop down 20. Sometimes you miss it and you can't chase it. Sometimes you get a better price. So if you like the trade, you're getting a better price than the single. Just remember that, guys. That's the advantage of tender trading. You get this information. Guys then put in sell stops beginning at 22 when they got a 38 entry, 16 pips better. Why would you put a sell stop in? If you like the trade, go to market and you get a far better risk reward ratio.
Incoming mail.
And it's cheap. Okay. Why is that coming? It's supposed to be only 2 sent out. You'll do what they have to do. Okay, well, he's already doing the whole lot. I don't know. It's supposed to be 2 anyway. Whatever. Hey, so yeah, you're getting a better price on the GBP and USDs. PVC. If you like it, take it that price, and you get a better reward. Simple as that. Okay, just remember that's important. Don't put sell stops in. Go and mark if you like the trade. Remember, it's your decision. The other one's just been sent. It's already been sent to the guys in the VIP because I posted it there. There's 2 supposed to be go on this one, and the other all 4 on the VIP group. Whatever, probably forgotten in the office. It gets quite busy. That's why someone gets some typos sent, double ups. Anyway, it's no excuse for them. It happens. Right, I see some upside AUD USD. It's been sent 64 market, but it's pulled back. I thought it might pull back a bit. So if you like the trade, it's just been sent out now. You've got a slight advantage of getting it that price there. Seems to be holding on the 4-hour, and this seems to be holding as well. So the stop is clearly below there in case it pops back a little bit more. That's the idea of seeing some upside on that one. Retraced a bit of support there. Again, you're getting a better price. If you like the trade, go for it. This price, and you're getting, as I say, you're getting a better risk reward. It's less per micro, etc., etc. What a pleasure. If you like the trade. The other one, I don't know if he's going to send it, was it EURAUD, was a buy. I'll discuss to you guys, but I've already posted it, so some guys should have seen it on the VIP WhatsApp group. That's the wrong one, sorry, EURAUD. Okay. Right, this one is a buy. Okay, it's on the daily, it's above that area there. It's a bit decisive, I get that. But it seems to be holding around about these levels on the 4-hour. It's the buy there. We can look at the weekly. It seems to be quite strong on that one as well. And on the 1-hour, bit indecisive, but the 10 and 1-hour seems to be holding. So I thought that was a trade idea to come out with. If you like that one, you probably haven't seen it yet, so I'll put it up for you. Unless you're on the VIP, you've seen it there, and then you can make your own decision. What's the stop loss? 62.65. And the other one is 64.64. There you are. It's only 80 bucks a micro. What a pleasure if you like it. There you are. So if you'd like those trades, I don't want to interrupt by waffling on. I'm just going to give you a few moments, maybe 2 minutes of silence from me. While you place your trades, look at it, do your quick analysis or whatever, and place the trades. Don't forget, make sure if you're going to take them all, that you've got enough free margin. Do not want to get margin called, and it'd be horrible if all 4 worked out, you weren't on board because you overexposed, didn't have enough free margin. So just bear that in. Give you a moment to do that.
Incoming mail.
Give you a couple more moments. Do your thing. Morning on daily. Just do your thing. You've got the trades now. Don't interrupt. Or you can do it, just put me on mute or something if I'm bothering you, because I want to move on now. Okay, so you got this stuff there. Right, okay, let's just start off there. I've got a couple more to look at if you can handle them. Remember, you need free margin. Some guys, no good sending 10 trades out if you can't handle them. But then you have to pick and choose, but I've got them there to look at. Anyway, but that being as it may, we'll just do, before we go into those, just go back and look what happened on Monday now last week. We had the NAS out as a sell at 14.94.6. So we'll start off with that one. Those are the trading money, but so you wouldn't have received if you were in the trading room. That's why probably I never got that. No, because you were in the trading room. This one clearly isn't about just under 100 pips profit. What a pleasure. I've modified my stop, but I've kept it a couple hundred pips above. I don't like it getting too close. 100 pips is big on currencies. It's not so big on the NAS or the Dow. So I've kept mine a couple hundred pips. I've modified, to be honest. I brought it back a little bit, but keep it 200 pips above. So you want to modify, and you took the trade, keep it 200 pips above market. You still make a bit of a loss, but at least you reduced it. My worry now is a bit of support over the last few days at that level. You might get a bit of a bounce there. So just keep that in mind. If it starts bouncing from there, you might want to take your profit. If it moves through, clearly hold on. But I'm sorry, it's not quite straightforward and easy. Some people do that decision what we want to do about it. But 100 pips is not that big a profit on the NAS, but it's a lot bigger than currencies, so nothing to be ashamed about. Anyway, it's doing okay. Brent, I wanted to send it out on Friday. The company said it holds 5 going to the weekend. So if you took this Brent at 72.98, you'll be in a bit of profit. Now, I just want to mention a couple of things on oil. Towards the end of July, the Saudis going to reduce production by another 1 million barrels a day. However, having said that, there's a bit of a slowing up in the Chinese economy, and there, as I mentioned many times, is the biggest importer. So that might have a little bit of a drain on the demand. As Russia, they keep putting in the news, but it's going to be shady deals going out there with that oil. When you put on sanctions, a lot of sanction busters out there, and as it starts to try and keep in like this rebel, otherwise they make a lot of fuss, but they probably, sort of like not wither out. I can't find the right word for it. And as it turned out, yeah, it looks like a bit more huff and puff than they actually do. And I think it's going to start be mentioned now and again as people get a bit fed up with this being a long time. What I mean by that is it probably gets some more oil output from there. So I was listening again, like I do in the mornings, to Bloomberg and a couple of oil analysts on there. That's what they specialize. That's what they do, And they said that more or less I said in the weekly snippet, which I posted on my WhatsApp group, there could still be a little more downside there on oil. I mentioned the tight trade levels, a range of about $5. So if you're not in it, please don't chase it now. If you are in it, I suggest keep a wary eye on it. You might have even taken profits clearly at that 75 or something earlier on today, just short of it. What are we on? Yeah, it came up to just under $75 today. It's hovering a little bit. Just be careful of it. It's a bit close to bring it up to to entry level on your stop loss. That's the problem. But just be wary of it because it has done okay if you took it. It's not that many people have taken it. Just be wary if you're in it. Okay. They could see, even though the decrease in the production's come about as mentioned, this looks like a corresponding decrease in demand, which might have some negative impact on it. We'll see. But it's very much sideways, narrow range. So just be aware. Don't play around. It's not in it. A couple of other trades we did. Just want to go over them. The GBP CHF. We did that one again on, I think, Friday. Where are we now? This was an entry at 15, but a lot of guys got in about 30, including myself, to be honest. We sent it out. I had other stuff to do. And I said, really, I haven't done it yet. So I found a moment, placed the trade. I got in about 30. So anyway, we got in 15 or a better trade. A lot of guys now got a better price. You're in profit. That's fine. Let it run. See if it can sneak below 1.14 as it did last week on Friday. And as I say, it popped up above, but it seems to be more selling pressure coming in. So, okay, the trade's okay. EUR CHF, something did pretty well, 98.24. That was a sell. I think it was on the 22nd. And I think that was on the Thursday. And that was 98.24. That's clearly a nice profit. I'm assuming those were trading because they have the knowledge they picked up, would have modified their stop with the profit. So let that run. They could reach the TP. The TP is at 97.48. So we're practically at TP on that one. So what? Has it reached it yet? Not quite. Nearly got there. Nearly got to the TP. Where are we now? 78.52. On the hourly, it might have got there this morning. Yeah, it might have. Trouble is, it might have got there where you get out on the sell. Sorry, you sold it. You're only out on the ask, the buy. So it got there on the sell. And unfortunately, with the 3 pip spread above it, you might still be in it. So it flirted with the TP. Not quite sure. Not quite got there yet. So you're still in it. Make sure whatever happens, you're getting make a profit on it. And maybe another move back down and hit the TP. So that's pretty close. That's not a bad trade. It did flirt with the TP. Oh, it hits yours on Mike. Good stuff. Hit some hit, and yeah, it's nice to see a bit of a smile on that one. It flirted with it, but just bear in mind, if you sell short there, you exit there. That's the spread. So if you see the line on the chart at 56, you'll still be in it until the 59 comes down to 56, because you're getting out on the buy. That's the market maker spread. Don't forget that. So some, like Mike's out, that's good news. And some guys will be in a profit, whatever happens, maybe just get there. So that's good. You can put that down. The nice one. Anything else? So we're outside. NZDCHF has been running a little bit longer. About nearly a week now, maybe 4 or 5. I don't know. Anyway, it's been a little bit longer. NZDCHF was in at 48. NZDCHF, it's now 40 odd bits in profit, just under that. I think some guys are modified. You should have done into profit, or at least break even or something. So you won't lose in the trade. You should come out of it okay, whatever happens. I still see the downside in NZD. I still see the Swiss franc stronger. Give it a bit of patience. Give it a go. People are so frightened to hang on to the winning trades, but so happy to hang on to it. Not happy, but they still do hang on to their losing trades forevermore on the emotional hope. Give the winner a chance. It's okay at the moment. You are protected if you modify, so you're going to lose on it. So why panic? Let it run. The only time if it's a bit slow and you're a bit lack of free margin, you haven't got enough money to top your account up, you might say, I'll take the profit to free up margin, go to something else. That's one aspect you could look at. But otherwise, if you can afford it, let the trade run, be patient with it. Nobody knows how long it's going to take, but give it the chance. Who knows? It might pay off nicely, patience and all that. Okay, so those are not too bad. Okay, hope we're all good with that. Just cover the previous and new ones, etc. We can discuss things going forward. Before I do it, the Nasdaq, I don't want to join the sell at the moment. I would like to join the Nasdaq sell at a higher price. Not at 870, it's too low. If you're on board, great. If you're not, leave it alone. Another one was I wanted to look at was the NZD USD. Also a sell. I think the NZD USD is clearly at the 10-day moving average. Actually, I'll take it off. The 50-day moving average is held, and now it's just dropping down to the 200. I see downside on that. I hope I'm not going too quick for you. Do the weekly. It looks like the weekly times 50 moving average is holding. Go to the 4-hour. It looks like the 200 times 4 hours holding. A bit of a range this morning. I get that. Popped up to get a better price. I see downside. I'm going to look at my DXY. I assume you've all got it now. I'll post it just now to you on the chat line if you haven't. It seems to be hovering around the 102.75 area. So I think there could be some more downside on that one. So yeah, I'm looking at a downside there. We haven't put the stop loss up here. Is it too far up there? Maybe put it there, maybe 95 pips. How far can we take it down? Take that. Yeah, that's too no. Make it slightly tighter. But if you do like, and you've got enough free margin after the others, I think it's a possibility of downside. You've got the money, you want to look at it. I'll certainly put the risk reward. We'll tamper with it a bit till we get the play around with a bit till we get a decent risk reward, a stop in the right place. So you can take it if you want. Anyone like to go and put an R up on this particular one as a sell? Or alternative, if you want, as a buy, if you like I really want to press this. We're not all shouting the same tunes. The democracy in here that works. I'm not always right, not always wrong. Come with that as well, don't forget. So you can have your own mind. And some guys said, no, I want to sell it. I said, no, buy it or whatever, or leave it alone. And the guys have been right and I've been wrong. I push that side hard because I want people to understand that I think nobody's 100% correct in this business. And you can't say, oh, you got it right, I got it wrong. Well, next time, get the other way around, get the idea. All right, we're doing a sell on this one. Let's see what sort of distance can we put a stop. Just put him up there. 62.10, call it. It's nicely above the round figure. Sometimes you get a bit of psychological support resistance there as well. Where are we now? Yeah, is that going to work it? Take it out of here. Yeah, if you're going to go that far, do you keep it down here? 60.40. Yeah, nice risk reward, 100 rand a micro. We certainly can, Gerard, and we'll even look at CAD JPY as well. I just want to do this first. We're getting it out. If you like that one's 100 rand a micro, decent risk reward. They're the figures. And they're good figures. And I know you guys out there all like a good figure. Oh, 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 naughty little boy I am. Just give you a moment if you like it. There you are. Hang on. Control that pretty down myself. That's a point. Do you want to do this, guys? I'm writing that anyway. I think it's a good possibility of this one, the downside sell. Mike likes it as well. Anybody else like it? Okay, great stuff. So we got at least a couple of people, so I've got that written down. Good stuff. Don't want to rush you guys. That's where you get typos, you get fat finger. Now you're in retention, meaning one. Now you're on the NASDAQ, you should have been on the Dow. Don't rush it. You're placing a trade, even got to switch the volume down. Concentrate, quick check, make sure the figures are right. Otherwise, you're going to be annoyed. Good stuff, Mr. True. Florence, okay, I like it. Florence. Letter Bella. Sounds a bit sort of musical, right? Letter Bella or Florence, whichever you're comfortable with. Okay, can I knock that off? I've got it written down. If you want me to come back to it, just don't rush. Okay, make sure that when you're typing and place the trade, quick check, make sure it's correct. You don't want fat fingers. As they call it the trade, not referring to the physical dimensions of your digits on your hand. It's just what we use in jargon, the trade, fat finger, when you put in the figures because you're rushing it. Okay. Yeah, Russia. I've mentioned internally in this trading room about emotions and egos and things like that. And I don't care if you're very clever, Gerard, or you're not very clever. You've got an ego. Even women got ego. We make a joke about men's ego. We all got it, but men particularly got egos. Okay. Now, when you become successful or high up or powerful, you have a corresponding increase in your ego. And I don't think anybody here would doubt that Mr. Putin's got a bit of an ego. It might be having problems around him. Clearly, the trouble is that, as I say, his economy isn't that large, but slightly bigger than the size of Holland. And Holland, you put your finger on Holland on the map, and you can't see it. You get the idea. Amazing, eh? They don't need much. They're manufacturing, they haven't manufactured guns. That's about it. AK-47, what do you call them? But otherwise, you don't. You know, it's all made in Germany. Oh, yeah, made in Russia. What the hell's that? So they rely on their natural resources. Okay. So that's going to be ongoing. I listened to say Bloomberg and a few other guys chat about it, and I presume they know what they're talking about. You've got to get away from mainstream media. They just put out what's emotionally great and sap it up and talking heads and all that sort of thing. I like just people actually, got study the thing, rational, know a bit about it. And the overall thing is he ain't going to be backing down unless he gets a coup. Then he's got no choice in the matter, ain't going to be backing down. So I think it's going to be fairly ongoing. But do not forget, the rest of the world has the capacity to increase production. I mean, Canada, as you know, exports, and I think the biggest importer from outside for America has been Canada. And then in Trump's reign, they had the Keystone Pipeline open, where they didn't even have to import. They actually became the biggest producer because they got it there if they want to get it. A lot of environmentalists don't like the idea. It's always a tough being environmentalist, got a good point, and requiring the damn product. And as I say, there's a very much bigger move to EV as they get the battery charging quicker and they can get hold of them on the driving from A to B more easily. And they can start with the mass production, getting the price down. I think that's going to be more moving and less dependence on oil, etc. going forward. So bottom line is, I'm not sure you're going to set something radical like a bomb going off in the Persian Gulf at the moment, or something radical like that, which is outside our hands. We can't really forecast that. I don't think you're going to see 85 to 90. I'm not sure I can see it again. The only thing is to push it is a radical bomb or something similar. I say a bomb, just a turn of phrase. You get my point. But leaving that out of the equation, I think even 80 is going to be holding for a while. I think you're going to see around about the lower 70s holding, and maybe dropping slightly down that going forward. Very high oil prices will only come in times of turmoil or wars or whatever. Otherwise, yeah. So start to look at, if you can get higher price moving, start to look, maybe sell it. But until we get some more on that, trade a tight range as long as you get a risk reward. Yeah, that's what I think anyway. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Have you heard anything more on that? Well, as you think about that, Gerard, I'm just going to Pietro, yeah. That's why I always say it's always a beauty if you can afford to have more cash. Once you know what you're doing, if you have a lot of cash and a clue what you're doing, or you're just going to burn more cash, it's not clever. But if you can, because you are going to get feast or famine. Is there any trades today? Sorry about that. No. What about tomorrow? Don't think so. Another time you might get 6, 7, 8. Now you can't take them. It's just nice to have the ammunition in your account there in case you do. And sometimes you get, I've seen it before. I remember guys, I've seen where you get 10, 15 sometimes, where pretty good, all come out and they actually work pretty damn well. And you have to miss out on them. You get the idea. So just bear that in mind. I always keep saying it, just develop some common sense on it. It's more of that than actually great brain stuff, to be honest. The dollar might strengthen, but oil could rise. But I mean, the point is the conflict's been on for a while. If another major conflict or talk of nuclear bombs, that's outside the camera. I can't predict that. Nobody can. That'll have a different. Taking that out of the account, I'm sure 80 personally. I cover my arse to 85, 90, but I don't even think 80, short of a bomb going off, is going to hold. I think it even could drift back to 70-ish. I think if it drops down to 65 or something, then it make a good buy, because a good long, that's why a good buy is cheerio, a good long, because they can then start decrease production, put it back up again. But like I say, the way forward is the EV. So yeah. Sideways to maybe slightly down outside a radical political interference. Okay. That new one was just fizzled by the look of it, as I quite expected. I mean, the news wants to push a narrative. They get into that. By the time the news finished with it, the guy's practically taken over. I think it's just about fizzled out. Take a step back. If you're getting it from CNN or any of the mainstream media, take a deep breath. You want someone, if you can, go on a Bloomberg or any other areas you can find where you actually get logical analysts who follow it. It takes some more work, it takes some more hassle, probably a bit more boring to it, because it's not, and they're not selling it, they're trying to give you some more facts. You get a better picture. But remember, the mainstream media is an entertainment area that relies on ratings from advertising. They're going to dress it up and they want to sell it to get ratings. That's their interest, not to inform you. You get the point. So just be careful where you get it used from. Question it. Staggering how many people still jump into a sales pitch headline and run around and march down the street and start throwing stones. Sorry, guys. I feel sorry for those guys. It's not you doing damage. They're just being pushed by powerful narrative. Just be careful. Okay. They aren't on your side. They're on their own side, like everybody else on the planet. Okay. What is your opinion about funded trading? I'm not sure what you mean by funded trading. What do you mean by that? Can't trade without being funded. I think I know what you mean, but I want to get clarification. Just be more explicit in what you're saying there, Brady. Does anyone know what he means by that? Funded trading. But what do you mean by that? No, won't do that. Yeah, there's some guys, especially internationally, will let you play around with it, hope you get a fund later on. But I'm trying to get guys away from this thing, something for nothing. If a guy does that, there's got to be an underlying reason. Do you know that person? No, you don't. Is it your husband, or is it your wife? Is it your kid? Is it your loving whatever? Why would they do that? I tell you what, mate. Go out the house, walk down, and give 1,000 rand to the car guard. You're not going to do it. Why would you? What's in it for you? You know what I'm saying? So if somebody offers you something for nothing, you've got to find out what's in it for them before you do business. There's got to be a reason behind it. Anyway, that's being as it may. We certainly won't. The problem is in South Africa, and I mentioned before, I'm being upfront, it's not being harsh, it's fact. The size of the balances, the accounts are pitiful. I'm not going to mince my words, they're pitiful. We're talking 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100 accounts or equivalent in rands. You get the idea. Which when I say peanuts, that's insulting the peanut. It's peanut, it's minuscule. Now, these guys there, I mean, as I said before, you've got individuals out there who've got balances higher than our entire book, it's a couple of thousand clients and so, because of the different size of economies and the rest of it, and more understanding involved. Okay. So there wouldn't be in a position to do that. And those guys out there will want something in return. Just try, as I said, we'll get something for nothing. If you want to trade this, you need money, not bonuses and all these. These are little, what do you call it? These are marketing gimmicks. You need the knowledge, you need the right equipment, and you need the balance, and then you can pick up the experience, and then you're in control. Don't wait for freebies being given to you, because that's not going to work. It's going to give you a freebie unless there's something in return. And usually the return is going to be higher than the freebie. You get the idea. So don't worry about it. Oh, you're talking about managed accounts. That's a completely different ballgame. Managed accounts for sure. We had that with Pam, but it didn't work out too well. The trouble is, because sometimes some of these places are not that regulated, you've got to be careful. We are regulated here, and I think more so in Europe and UK and Japan, and certainly in America. I don't like China, but I certainly don't doubt it in Russia. But anyway, yeah, and in this country, before you do it, you need what's called a Category 2 license, which I think might be after, I don't know. We'll get it when they get it. So from that point of view, you need what's a Category 2 license to be able to trade on someone else's behalf. Okay, if you're doing it sort of for a couple of mates, that's not a problem. But if you're in the business, you go by someone and you're registered with the FSCA, you can't, you're not allowed to. I can't say, right, you give me some money and I'll trade on your behalf. I haven't got a Category 2 license to do that, or the company hasn't. Once it has, then I can, but not before that occurs. Just bear that in mind. Prop firms sometimes do it, yeah. But that's a situation. Now, then they take 20, 30%, but profit. But often what worries me, unless it's a proper broker, you've looked into it, you really believe in it. As we all know, in this world, there's bad boys and good boys. And I do know often you get what's called churning. And if you're familiar with the term churning. Now, brokers make them money from brokerage. Well, thank you very much, Roger, for stating the absolute blinding obvious. But we forget. And I've seen some horror stories of guys putting decent amounts in, and they've overtraded the account to generate brokerage. It hasn't done the poor guy who's been managing kind of favor on it. You get my point. So it's not the 20–30% profit they're going to charge. Is my worry is even if they don't make that, the company will do if it's I'm not saying we'll do. I would never do that. It just goes against my personal standards. But it's not everyone's got them out there, so just be a little bit careful. And I do know for a fact, I'm not mentioning names, I'm allowed to. Lawyers come after me, but a lot of guys out there, I'm pretty sure, trading on your behalf and not even licensed to advise you, never mind trading behalf. So be careful. We are an FSP, we are licensed, I am licensed. I've got the regulated part. I've done my under supervision, passed the exams, etc. And I think those who know me, I'm a pretty sort of a loudmouth, but what you see is what you get. At the straightforward oak, as they say. So yeah, before you go rush off to something tempting out there, you know what I mean, the what you call it, the grass is green the other side kind of thing, which maybe just send me on WhatsApp to find out or ask on here. Just be a little bit careful. The bigger the rah, the bigger the aircraft or the Ferrari, usually the bigger the bullshit goes with it. Got the point. Okay, straightforward. No, don't trade them. I don't want people to overdo this straddle trade stuff. Just be a little bit careful. You can if you like, but just be a little bit circumspect on that. Germany has got a bit of a recession, but the CPI could change a little bit onto the upside, which have maybe some power on the more hawkish stance on the euro itself. There's much talk as it's looking like the Americans are going to be going into recession. They say it's not 100% yet. Depends on what party you want to believe. And Dem's not going to say that because they want to get voted in coming into next year, clearly. And the economy is the numero one. If the economy is looking good, even if they hadn't had to do with it, they'll get votes. If it doesn't, even if it's not their fault, they'll lose votes. Simple as that. So they'll be hiding about it. The opposition party will probably be shouting about it a bit. But there is talk again from analysts out there. It's waving for a recession. That's why I think this whole market internationally is overcooked. And that's why I'm looking for short positions on it. But be circumspect over doing these straddle trades. Make sure the impact, look to the previous CPI or something to make sure there's enough movement impact, because it's small and you go in, you could have the problem of being taken in on the sell stop, and then after it comes out and suddenly realize it's not that good a news, maybe go the other way and it bounces up, takes in the buy stop or vice versa. Now we're in both. Now which one do you close? There's a bit of a gap between the two and you're not happy chappy. So just be a little bit careful overdoing it. Yeah, you can if you like. There's quite a few and it has had some success clearly, but it doesn't mean to say every time you see the word CPI and do a straddle trade on it, or a PMI or a PME or a PPI or anything, you know, just be a little bit circumspect on it. Yeah, we'll still be doing the non-farms next month and the CPI next month on the US and the 2 o'clock session as normal. And you can play around and, you know, it's your money, you're intelligent guys, you know what I mean? You know the store picture, you're not an idiot. You can try maybe a small one. Maybe you can afford 5 micros or maybe go for 2 micros and do a buy stop and see if it works out. Great. If it doesn't, well, at least you learn experience hadn't really hurt. Yeah, okay. I hope that all makes sense. Okay, but this is what I want. What Pietro and some of the guys, that's what I want. And Gerard does. I want you guys to interact. A little bit selfishly, because it means I've got something to work on during the session. It makes the session more fun for me, for selfish reasons. But for unselfish reasons, it will help you as well to learn, because I do know for a fact I did the position size calculator on Saturday morning. And 1 or 2 guys in the trade room did join me, and those guys did interact. The others didn't. And I stressed time and time again how vital it is. They still don't interact. In fact, because I was unmuted, I had some guys chit-chatting away in the background. You want to make money in the markets. You don't attend lessons, don't look at the volumes or anything like that. That's fair enough. It's your money, but you're going to lose it. I mean, if you want to do it, clearly you don't. Well, no. And it always worries me, it's like a turnout. There's so many clients out there trading when we offer these facilities and they're not interacting with it, and it's coming back and smacking them. They don't understand what they're doing, and we're trying to help them to learn that. And they don't. It's not my money, it's theirs. And a lot of them don't have that much money to play around with. So it hurts. I mean, I don't want to lose $1,000, but I can handle it. These guys lose $1,000 and they've got a problem. So, you know, you've got to be partake in it. And that's why it's useful from Gerard and company to do this. Okay. I only do it when someone knocks off. I do fill in. You know what I mean? Our guy's off sick or he wants to take a couple of days leave, which is obviously due. And obviously, if usually not if there, someone's got to fill in, I'll do it. So whenever someone needs to fill in, I'll do it. I don't know how they do it because they're trade presenters. They probably go to detail. I know how they do it. All I want to do when they do it is bang it into their heads that this is vital. Okay, vital. You know what I'm saying? And if they can't grasp that, well, I can't help them. You know, I sound harsh, but it's almost trying to sort of bang their heads together. They're trying to put no money in, no knowledge, no idea, no effort, no nothing. I wonder why they're not buying their Ferrari, which they saw in the adverts on Instagram. And it almost makes you weep in frustration. You know what I'm saying? I can only help those who help me to help them. They can't help me to help them. How can I help them? I'm sick. I'm not going to go to the doctor. How can the doctor help me? You get the idea. Okay, you want to look at the AUD CAD. You want to sell it. Yeah, but the only problem with that, I looked at this morning, as it say, I look through all of them in the morning, look for ideas. The only problem I have with that one is, yeah, I agree with you, totally agree with the downside. Is it not going to get a bit of an oversold bounce, profit-taking bounce, short covering bounce, name it whatever you like, to get a slightly better price? Some guys think that low, it might bounce up. You're probably right, it shouldn't like to bounce up, but it's a very strong downtrend. So you don't know how much the bounce is going to be before the guy taking that profit can be cleared out before he starts moving down again. Clearly, the Canadian is strong, the AUD at the moment. That could change fundamentally, economically, internationally, depending on China. Things could change. Oil price, we get that. But I'm talking about for the moment. So yeah, downside's the name of the game. But would you want to join it there or maybe get a better price? Let's look at a shorter term chart. 4 hour. Few buyers are coming in. Let me get a better idea of the 1 hour. Yeah, it's coming off, a couple of buyers coming in, but it's even on the 1 hour, as it pops up, the sellers are coming in. So the question is, do I agree? Absolutely, yes, I do. I'm not even disagreeing at all, not for 1 iota. All I'm discussing now is, do you think we can get a better entry price, or do you want to chase it now? I'm leaning towards a slightly better entry price. That's my feeling on that. But then again, I'm risking missing it. So that's why I'm sort of jumping around on both feet up and down. You get my point. So do you want to chase it now or better price? What do you think? How's your idea? What do you feel? Gerard's a trading marine, by the way. He's a general in the trading marine, so he might be. Okay, so you want to wait a bit. Okay. Anybody else feel I'm being a right bloody chicken wuss here, and you're a Rambo from the trading sphere, and you want to sell it down there? Tell me, and I'll put an RR up. But I'm going to try and get a better price, but I'm not going to try and buy it up. I don't know the extent of the bounce, which could happen, because looking at the hourly one against my reasons is it's not getting much move up before the sellers are coming in. So I'm going to risk missing out, but is there going to be much downside if I do miss out? Let's have a look before we get the next low. 180 pips, so we can afford to wait for a bit more confirmation, because there's plenty of meat on the bones to join it later on. That's my thinking anyway. Are we good on that, guys? Do you understand? Am I speaking too quickly? I know a couple of people say I speak too quick. Thanks, Anthony. Or remember, it's often English is their second language. Then you join in, you tell me, please slow that down a bit, run that by again. And if I can't, Gerard, Antony, Pietro, Brady, I don't know, whoever will help you out. Kenny's not on the moment, but he's been brilliantly useful in helping me out. Remember, Kenny's often on there, and if I don't explain it correctly, he'll assist and get the concept across. This is what it's about. Yeah, I could well do, but I'm not confident. Sell it now as more like reverse up or down. I'm just going to wait for a better entry, breakthrough or better entry. But I'm not sure be buying. I've been staggered. It goes back up here. You'll have to have some form the oil price China suddenly coming to the party economically, our nails industry, that'll be fundamental. We don't know that. So I'm definitely going to eyeing it. Yeah, I think that's made that fairly clear. It's only something major fundamental, like I just mentioned, will change the situation. Keep an eye on China. Iffy China, weak Aussie, stronger China, strong Aussie. Bit more complicated, but basics. Are we good on that? Okay. Now, I just want to drift off a minute, if you don't mind. If you come up trade idea, I'll shut up immediately and go to something else. But I've mentioned in my worry is the sort of the basic arithmetical numeracy. We'll call it basics, you know, like 10 and 10 is 20, 10 divided by 5 is 2, basic stuff. And I have a frightening article, funny enough, this morning, I don't know, business day, one of them anyway, saying that our sort of arithmetical numeracy or numerical literacy is one of the worst in the world. And our standards are even lower than poorer countries. So we're not just saying it's higher in richer countries, but no, even poorer countries have got a higher literacy rate than we have. And they said you know you can maybe study, I know, biology and start at grade 10 and take a little bit later, but you can't do maths 10 before going to university unless you got the basics at a younger age. And it seems that the kids in the more privileged schools, kids who talk about learning, kids, pupils, more privileged schools, do have more knowledge on, I'm talking maths and arithmetic here, than a lot of the teachers in, shall we say, the less privileged schools. So the problem with that is a lot of the blind leading the blind. So now the teachers don't have that much knowledge themselves. And it's creating a massive problem out there. Because I think you all know now, we talk about, unless you've got if you haven't got a computer, maybe a laptop, maybe a tablet or a phone and the internet, you're a bit stuffed. Well, I'm telling you right now, you are unemployable if you cannot read or write and you don't know 10 and 10 is 20. You know what I'm saying? And that is causing a major issue out there. And then bring it back to here, the same problem here. I know for a fact, I'm trying to explain some of the basic arithmetic involved in just working out the volumes. And a lot of people are not getting that. I mean, you cannot progress in this particular line of trading and you can't unless you know the basic arithmetic. You don't have to be a mathematical genius. It's good to have extra math, sure. I mean, when I was at school, lucky me, I was doing simultaneous equations at the age of 12. Or was 11, 12, something like that. Some guys the age of 18 now don't know what I'm talking about. So you get the point, all right, I was slightly privileged, lucky me, far good at all or whatever. But the point is education, not whether you're sick or not. And the problem is a lot of people confuse lack of education being not very clever, nothing to do with it. You can be very clever and uneducated and be extremely educated, not too bright. And then there's apparently some sort of saying in the class that people are frightened to put their hands up in case the other kids laugh at them or cheer them on or whatever. No, they've got to know this stuff. And it does worry me. Too many guys are coming into this line of business, for a better word, without the basic numerical literacy. You've got to have that. You have to have it. And that was a real worry. It's sort of be negative here, but where it's a worse standard here than in poorer countries. So you haven't got that excuse. The poorer countries can do it, so can we. So it is a worry, and it seems to be coming across quite a lot. And it's coming back to bite in the volumes and using the calculator. I mean, in theory, most companies, certainly overseas, will suggest a buy in the EUR, AUD. They might just give the stop loss at SLTP. That's all. They'll assume you can work the rest out yourself. You know, not only we give you the 0.01, but no, 0.02 and 3 and 4, and still guys can't do it from that information. That is going to be a worry because the actual understanding of this particular product is a hell of a lot more involved than whether you can work it out. I've got 1,000 Rand of risk and it's 100 Rand 0.01. You can't work out from that what your volume is. This is going to be impossible to make, to go forward on. Not going to worry, but it's just basic understanding this. I know the Herards and the Brady's and that, Pietro probably know this, but I'm just saying it is a worry. And it makes me understand sometimes that try and be a little bit patient, but get through that. You've got to do that. You have to do privately. if you don't have internet, you don't have the basic understanding how to email or anything like that. You can't read or write. You don't know 5 and 5 is 10. Where are you going to, even if the jobs start taking off, you need to get employed? It's like looking for a job when you've got a prison record and your face is full of tattoos. You're not going to get taken on. Same sort of principle. Just bear that in mind. You've got to somehow come to the party on that. And this attitude, wait for it to fall in the lap, I'm getting it all the time. It's not going to happen. Okay. And unfortunately, a lot of people that are naive or uneducated are getting taken for that reason. I don't like to see it, but it happens. Okay, so I just want to move on that. It's quite a frightening article. You can really feel like I've got it saved. If you want me to put it on the chat line to read it, but it's not very uplifting, put it that way. It's pretty scary. And it's, I presume you guys know what the hell they're talking about. Okay. Let's just check a couple of trades in the meantime. Let's just start with the one we're just taking out in the trading room trade. And oh, I want to do gold. So another one to look at. Gold. I think I missed it. Bugger it, missed it. Okay. I mentioned on Friday, anyone took it around about the 15-16 mark. And I think too many guys weren't too keen. So it did pop up. And I thought if it comes back to maybe around about the 20 mark or 18 mark, we can look at maybe a risk reward on it, but not less too far. Pity. Okay, so we'll leave it. I don't know if anyone did take it or is still in it. It's fine, but if not, then we'll be chasing it yet. Okay. But I think that ship sailed, but I do see some more upside. Okay, just look at NZD USD. We just joined it. Anything happening there? Flat as a pancake. Okay, let's look at some other trades we got out today. So AUD CHF. Bloody hell. Oh no, sorry, look at the wrong one. Look at that. What the heck? Okay, no, it's looking terrible, don't it? It's okay. Somehow you probably happened to all of you, eh? What the hell's happened to my trade? You realize you're looking at the wrong instrument. We'll do it again. I've just done it again then. So not shoot the lights out, but be patient. But at least it's slightly in profit. AUD NZD 65. We're buying it. Not pretty. But some guys in the trading got a slightly better price. They should be okay. It might drift back. Our stop's down there. It might drift back there to buy. If you're not in it, you can join it here. But if it doesn't bounce there, it'll be a good entry. If it gets there, it probably won't. It might, I don't know. But don't double up. You know what I mean? But you've got the stop down there. Let's see movements up and down. Let's have a look. It's looking like it's come back on the hourly, some sort of range. You might bounce right here. So don't panic. All of you traded more than a month or so. Know some of the trades you go in. Here's a bloody red going. Be patient, and the rest turn out to bright blue, not just blue. Give the trade a chance. Don't look it all the time, and don't panic. Don't get the stops when you modify too close, and don't take the profit too early. Rather modify the stop, and don't hold on to your losses until your account is blown. These are all things you can control. What happens to the price of the market, I can't, but the other stuff you can. And that's why I will continue to impress upon you. What was it? EUR-AUD was a buy at 6332. Plus minus the same. Not much happening there, so we'll move on. Pound dollar 2722. That was a sell, eh? And it's not looking pretty, but it seems to be holding there. It might come to the party. Good chance that it will. Okay, so we'll let that move on. I just want to take this opportunity now to thank all of you for sending me that 10th. No, I'm just joking. I want to take this opportunity now just to put up a couple of the things here. This is going to be the dollar index. Excuse me a second. I know one or two guys might not have it or they missed it last time. There you are. We always talk about the dollar index. There you are. We often talk about the yields on the 10-year note. That's useful as well. If you don't understand, I can take a quick time to explain it, but I will only explain it if asked. If you can't bother to ask, I can't bother to explain. Can't say any more firmly than that. Trying to help a person can't help themselves. It's a wasting my time and theirs, to be honest. Okay, trying to push guys to interact. It gets frustrating when they don't. That's the calendar. Keep it. I'll get my number. I think you've all got it, just in case. Trading support. WhatsApp. One. Please, only if you've got a funded account, not demos, as mentioned in the past. I ain't going to spend my time, my energy assisting a person who can't come to the party and just wants to play on the computer games on the demo. I'm wasting their time, but well, not their time, I'm wasting mine as well. I'll help those who are serious about improving their trading journey as much as I can. No guarantees, of course. Okay. Don't forget, I've got a VIP group. If you want to be a member, you need 2.5 for $150 minimum. Okay, we're all clear on that. Don't forget, if you've got your trades there and you haven't saved them, right click and then go to templates. Go to save the template. Put your name in there and save it. If you lose, something happens, you press the button or something, you lose, it happens to be quite a lot, then just right click, go to your templates, there we are, and then click the one you like. Don't forget, for information, highlight the one, doesn't really matter what it is, highlight the one of interest to you. Left click on specifications and then, left click and then right click on specifications and whatever. Right click and then left click on specification, I beg your pardon. And it gives you your margins, gives you the contract size, gives you the spread, and points, not pips, full access, all the information is there. Then you say you understand it, well then ask. We'll assist. I don't understand it, I'm not going to ask. And one guy, he said, I didn't understand the trade room, so I don't go there anymore, I just trade my own. And then wonder why he's lost all his money. Go figure. Don't understand what's happening. I'm studying medicine, by the way. I don't understand. It's too complicated for me. It's not bother attending my classes. But next week, I'm going for my doctor's exam. Do you think I'm going to pass it? I don't think so. Okay, good stuff. So I've covered the base I try and do every time. Any questions? Anything, sometimes it's still not clear. Like Chris asked a couple of times, I think he is now, on what these black, blue, brown lines, are they important? Are they not important? Are they vital? Which is the most important? Do I need RSIs on there? Do I need that Bollinger Band? Do I need MACDs? That's not going to be a training. It's just a clarification purpose to get the bullet points across to make hopefully a trading line quicker and easier to understand. I'm going to pick on Peter now. You're only doing about a month, maybe a scratch more. I was thinking he did trading before, but anyway. But I know one or two guys that haven't been doing it that long and been attending regularly, asked a few questions, and it's not 4 years down the line. They are interacting now where they're getting some idea in a fairly short period of time. So it can be done. And I'm not picking on them, but anyone there as an astrophysicist with an IQ of 150 plus. Hope not, because it shows everyone you don't have to be a bloody genius to be able to do it. Okay. Well, I knocked myself in, but I can bloody do it, so can you. Any questions you're not sure about? So you got saved, that's the 100 and what its purpose is. That's the 50, how important that is. That's the 10, that's the 200. You know how important it is. Good. If you don't, say so, otherwise I can't help you. Good question. Just saw that, Christopher. Funny you say that. What else happened to that? See if I find it again. Right, while I'm talking about templates. Should be on this one. Where is it now? Should be on this one. Yeah, there it is. Sorry. I must have lost it and pressed the wrong button. See, it's worth saving it. Thank you for asking that. So a classic example of where the hell's it gone? Instead of faffing around, went to my save ones and picked the one, and there it is. Trading levels on this one. If you want your trade levels there, you can do. I go trade levels, and it should come up. That's on the wrong one. That's why you think. Sorry, I'm on this one. That's right. So if you want your trade levels up, you can do it. Okay, if you don't like staring all the time, just go to your trade levels here and get rid of them. Okay. So there, put it back on. Remember the guys, that's what one of my ideas, just what they don't have to her. She's still trading, but she's doing it very regularly. And she liked it as an 8-day, the gold one or the yellow one, as an 8-day exponentially, other than simple moving average. If you're in a short on the NASDAQ, you know, it's an idea if it pops above on maybe 4 hours something, maybe to get out of it. She's using 4 hours on currencies. She's using 2 4-hour candles, which might work depending on the volatility. On volatility on the currencies, but on the NAS, I'm not too sure about 2 4 hours. Certainly 1 4 hours, so maybe slightly lesser time because of its volatility. It's just that, you know, I've just said before, guys, it's the most difficult when to take your profit. You're not going to get it exact. You're selling short and it bounces from here and it goes up. You ain't going to get that. So this is just to say that if it's going up and this thing's now turning down, and maybe a 4 hour of candles above the golden line there, she's just looked back, she tried out, she pass tested it, back tested it, and found there's some way to hold on until it actually breaks above to take the profit. Because why would you get out? Your TP is there, and it's clearly still going down, clearly below your 8-day moving average example, as using this example. Why would you take your profit? Everyone wants to get out and take the profit at the speed of light. But then they hold on to their losses. I've gone on about it, it's going on again. So it's still coming down. Ride the damn thing. Hold on to your profits. Get out of your losses. And then if it's hold on until eventually it pops up, you stopped out. Or you've taken your profit down here instead of there, if you get my point. Now, this is not complicated stuff, but it's always seems to be difficult to overcome. Maybe it's just the emotions again taking over. We are very much emotional people. Try and understand that. Okay. But that's clear to everyone, including Chris, who asked the question. So it's the same. Got it. Thank you very much, Chris. Just a second. Okay. Internet is stable. Better get my router on. Don't know why it's having some problems with lately. Switch it on just in case. There we are. That's the backup. Because we had some problems. If I lose it for a minute, just remember that just kicked out. I don't know why. So because it's maybe there's some problems. I'm with Vox and some problems there. Okay, usually brilliant. Okay, 15 megs a second or whatever it is. Okay, anyway, there he is. NAS is doing well, so afterwards I'll be modifying again, get it down a little bit more, but it's not doing too bad. Just watch it a bit. It might be a range trading, so you get some more downside. A bit more confirmation. If maybe look at a couple of share trades later on. Sorry, tomorrow, whatever. Because there might be some more. I'm expecting some more downside on shares. I think the market generally worldwide. Yeah, I think we want to be on board. We get a decent pullback. In fact, never mind a correction, then we really can laugh. That'd be good. The beauty with us, we can sell short. The equity guys cannot. So if it goes down, that's bad news. That's why most of equity here on the radio and 702 and that, bad news in the market today, because they're always talking about people losing the great price comes off. But we're lucky we're in the derivative market, and if it comes off to us, that can be good news. Okay, right. Okay, so being that as it may, we've got a few out. We can look at more if you want. And yeah, anything you want to discuss, anything you want to go for, don't forget, I keep saying, I don't want to give up or not, you will not learn if you don't interact, if you don't ask. Just sit there, hope it's going to be automatically download in your head. I've appeared in 4 classes, so no, I know. No, you've got to. And you think, what the heck's talking? You know, we're not at school, we're not going to laugh. We all started somewhere, and it will help you as well as help us all. And if I can't, someone else will explain it. But the ones that interact usually do better than the ones who just sit and hope for the best. Because sometimes I do speak quickly, I never don't get a lot, quite a while, and sometimes it become confused issues for people. Okay, so any questions on the trades you're in? Any new ones? Any battle with any of these lines on here, or yeah, anything like that? I can spend this past night. Spend another up to 11 o'clock going through stuff that even experienced guys can learn something. I might say, I didn't know you could do that. Do you all know how to cut your position? You've done that before. If I'm boring Gerard and Chris and the rest of it, tell me. I don't want to spend all my time trying to help people who basically often go and help themselves and let down the guys who are coming to the party. I mean, very fair on this. Even they might not see things. I had guys we trade for us, well, I didn't know you could do that. So if you like, we can look at how to cut a trade. You don't have to close it entirely. I'll buy on the Dow, take that first, okay. Move this out of the way. We'll share the cut a position just now if you get it. Okay, buy. No, I don't want to buy the Dow. Oh, hang on, since you mean it might have come off enough to buy. Whatever. Take your points. Any thoughts on COG? Excuse me, any thoughts COG? If it's a company, I don't know of it. How do we capture trade? How do you mean? I need to be more explicit than that. So I'm not sure. I'll come to that in a minute. Precious, excellent question. I don't know what you mean by COG or how to capture trade. I'm sure you mean by that. Yeah. If this seems to be holding, you've got your point. If we've got a short out, well, we haven't got a short out, but if somebody's in short than NAS, modify your stop because you might have a point there. Yeah, we could get a technical bounce there. I'm just a little bit worried because this talks of recession internationally. It could go through that 50 and further down. I might expect it could actually happen. Let's look at the weekly. See, it is, I'll give you due on the weekly, it's range trading. So from a purely technical point of view, you might have a point. Let's go to the Dow Micro. Yeah, you might have a point here. It's only 120 pips. You need wider than that on the daily. Yeah, make it down here. Yeah, we want a decent stop. Maybe down there and take it up to here. If it gets there, yeah, you certainly get a risk reward. But technically speaking, I'm a bit wary. I think It might have another bounce before it comes off, but I'm seeing a pullback somewhere or correction. But in the meantime, Techno on his own, I take it point well spotted, Mike. Yeah, that looks like a buyer where we're sitting at the moment. Okay, I'll have a look at it in a minute. I've never clearly traded, so I don't know what it is. That's all it is. What the hell? Sorry, somebody just over there has got this fancy Mustang. And obviously it's got a throat exhaust. Right? I'll start it up and move on instead of showing off. It'll come back in a minute. Okay, so let's look at a shorter term chart, 4 hour. The buyers are coming in. Yep, the buyers are coming in. So the Dow looks like it might be all right. Going along. Put it just down here. Put this up a little bit further. Do it on that basis, and it's only $70 a micro. If you're doing the normal Dow, it'll be 700 a micro. Bear that in mind. So make sure it's the micro, and unless you can afford the bigger position. If you can afford the bigger, but obviously it doesn't matter. Common sense must prevail at some time. But don't jump in if you've got 2 or 3 grand. Go on the normal one because you're horrendously overexposed. You almost certainly, well, I can't say that, but you're likely to get margin call. But yeah, I have to say, I take your point. But be careful. Don't go too big because I say I'm worried about the overcooked nature of the international markets, as mentioned several times. Any comments, guys? Not just Mike's idea, sure, but anybody else? Do you want me to put it down, Mike? And I need somebody else to support him, otherwise I'm not going to. But to anybody else? Let's wait for you to type out, make your mind up, respond, interact, or whatever. No reaction? Do you want me to move on? Can't move on. Come to COG in a minute. No. I want people to make sure that they go to the various classes as well, platform training, of course, TR as well, trading as well. But you've got to understand the basics. This is really for people to understand the basics. If you're going to do a share, number one, owns Harper's 3. Number two, it's an Excel spreadsheet you get from your when you log into your Stock Market College or LMS, whatever you call it. Log in there. Don't ask me, I'm not with the company. But that's guys who bought the course. But you know, it's a separate calculator for stocks. The rest you can use this one, but otherwise for stocks, that's a separate one. Okay. I will start with GBP CHF because we're going to have a COG. I haven't traded, so I can't put too much about the company. I can look at obviously the technicals, but not the company itself. GBP CHF, where is it now? A precious, it's quite important question. So, is it still safe to continue to hold the GBP CHF? Okay, Chris, good. Now, I'm glad you asked this question because I've been pointing out this and I want everyone to try and understand this. People, once they go into a trade, their most take over and they get scared staying in the trade, especially if it's in a profit. If it's in a loss, they don't mind hanging on, waiting. It's going to be a profitable one. Keeps going against it, modify the stop loss away, increase their risk, increase their losses, and open, because I cannot psychologically take the loss. Okay, that's fine. Well, it's not fine, but that's what they do. But now they go in and they think, well, hang on, I'm at a profit. I've been holding this 24 hours to get out of it. All these are in perpetuity. That's a long way of saying forever. The only way you'll be out of this is if you close it or it hits your stop loss and TP. If you've done it SL and TP, you don't close it, and the price moves in those two stop loss TP parameters, you'll be in there next year. You get it? So is it on a winner? Do you still like the trade? Are these highs here lower? Yes, the lower highs. You still believe in the trade. Where's the stop loss? No, it's not stop, the TP on the trade. I'll tell you now, it's at 1285 down here. So the big question is, why would you want to get out of it? Are you in profit? Well, yes, you are. Why would you want to get out of it? I'm explaining it rather long-windedly, sorry, Preston Company, for people to get this concept, not to trade sort of parrot fashion to get the concept. So I want you to know why I say, why would you not hold on to it? So you hold on to it, it jumps up, stops you up. Bloody Roger, no, I do not know what's going to happen to that price going into the future. I can only take a view. And my view at the moment is downside. So why would you jump out if you have also that same view? Because I'm assuming if you took the trade, you would have that same view. Otherwise, you would not have taken the trade. Are you with me? So hope everyone's clear on that. I hope you got the person who had answered the question. Precious, it's very important. You get what I'm on about. If not, I'll explain again, because this is another vital part of trading. A lot of detail flying out there, which you don't know about, doesn't matter. But this is vital. Are you with me on that explanation? Anybody not, I'll do it again because it's very important. Are you clear? Are we clear? Crystal, if you saw that film. Yeah. So you see the downtrend. You got it in Tombi. Great. It's clear. You know, why do you want to get off the winning trade? I keep on about it because I know exactly why. It's all psychological. And overall, it happens all the time. You try and get out of the habit of running away from your winners and all they want to your losers. Okay. Yeah, I still like that trade. I know I'm still in it. Pretty sure I'm. We get stopped out. I know I'm in. Quick way to check is put this up here. So you mean trade levels? There are. I'm in it. So I'm not getting out. I'm in a profit. In fact, it's too close to this stage for me to modify. I might just now modify. I don't know. Well, that's my problem, not yours. But the point is, I'm holding on. So not to sound right, I might be wrong, but you've got a strategy. Stick with the strategy. Modify the stop loss, not too close, towards entry, not away. Got that guy like a mantra. Modify SL. Give the trade a chance. Modify towards, not away. Make a rhyme about it or something. No. Because I made all these mistakes. Fear, no love, it's completely normal, Precious. I've got all these things I'm talking about. I learned the hard way. Nobody held my hand. I had no training from. I had all this. It cost me a lot of money. It got me a long way in my head, learning all these things. So I don't want you to make those mistakes. When I've had them, I'm passing that experience on to you. Too many guys, I'll read a few more books. Waste your bloody time. Make some money for the guys who sell the books. Get that. Get the practical psychological understanding. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't clutter your charts and understand why the hell you're doing it. That basics will a lot easier to accumulate and a lot easier and less complicated and often stand you in better stead. What's happening with trading is it's a business. The price is where it's at. You think your house is worth $1 million. The market thinks it's worth 1.1 or 900. Doesn't matter what you think, that's what the market thinks. And remember, that moves all the time because there's millions of people buying and selling as we speak. That's why you get that movement. I don't know if somebody's going to suddenly sell 1 million rands with a pound or buy 1 million rands with a pound. If they suddenly buy it, it'll pop up a couple. Then they go and take profit, bounces down. That's the noise. You get it? Yeah. It's all about the buy and sells and the price action. You can understand that. And the fear, you're absolutely right. We all have it. Everybody. Unless you're Dr. Spock or something, or you're born without a fear zone in your body. If that can happen, I would call them sociopaths. You're going to have it. And just understand it. And that comes experience and hopefully be going on about it. Because this is far more impact than learning another 10 books and posting another 20 indicators. Getting that cycle aspect. Why do I keep on about it? If you're in the demo, you're not going to learn a trade. You take the emotion out, that's not how trading is. Not about your brain power, it's about getting the hang of those emotions. That's why guys in football were paid so well. It's a World Cup final, and they're offering you the ball to kick. If you miss it, you've lost the World Cup. If you get the goal and the penalty shootout, you've won it. Your salary, you get a $50 million blah, blah, blah. If you miss it, you never let you forget it. You get trolled in Twitter. You get the idea. They're paid for that kind of pressure. You see, and that's why they get paid. because they can control that emotion. And if I went up to it, ooh, and I'd probably kick the ball backwards instead of forward. The pressure gets me. That's why these guys are good. But we'll get it. It's the emotional stuff. That's where it separates the men from the boys. There you are. And that's an excellent example. Thank you, Precious. You see that, ladies and gentlemen out there? A year and a half. Wife's a year and a half. What for? Frightened of going live. And I bet when you did your first live trade, Precious, your heart rate was up. It was a tiny position. It went down against you 5 rounds. You started to panic. All the stuff learned in the demo was a complete waste of time. The only purpose of the demo was twofold. Knowing how to place a trade, once you know that, go live. Then you might go back and say, I think if the 4-day exponential cross the 21-day simple, it might be an idea. I want to back test it and I'll try it out in a demo just to see. That's a new strategy. You can try it there. But to learn to trade in a demo is total self-kidology. Yeah. Oh, there you are. There. See what she's writing there, the lady there. That applies to all of us. Don't care if you're a boy, girl, you come from Lapland or where you come from. Quite normal. And that's why I push so hard. And people don't in the teaching and the books and the rest of it. So they're all missing the real point, where the boys from the men or the ladies from the girls or whatever is the difference to be able to take that, trolling out that emotion. There you are, Tom. It is a waste of time, yeah. Because it doesn't just teach you nothing, it teaches you worse than nothing. You go backwards, actually. I only have a month here. I think it should be only had for 2 weeks. If you can't be bothered to learn how to place a trade in 2 weeks, then you waste your time doing this anyway. So much of what we call it cognitive dissonance. It's called denial, self-denial. Unfortunately, one of the biggest problems with human beings, they tend to lie to themselves. You know, or say, lie to me if you want, master, lie. You didn't, but don't lie to yourself. And a lot of it is self-kidology. Quite common. I've been there, I know that, and yeah, work on that side. Good, thanks for your help there, Precious, because when somebody else puts it on there, it's not just coming from me, it's backed up. And they might say, my goodness, you've got a point there. Learn that, and these sort of basic bullet points do far more favors than, as say, reading a nice book on 20 different indicators with different algorithms and that. Actually, I don't use the bloody things. Okay, righty. Have we stopped out of this? Sorry, TP'd out. Oh, well. I think it's hit the TP. Yeah, we should have hit your TP. Anybody still in the EURCHF? Thank you, Precious. I mean, you've helped, not just you, you've helped me to help you, and you've helped everybody else. A lot of guys out there, but not sure what question to answer. I'm a bit scared. You've helped them as well, so thank you. I think you guys should have hit the TP in the last hour or so. Anybody left in this trade? I think everyone's hit the TP. That's pretty good news, eh? Write that down. TP right across it. You're still in it. Okay, well, pretty close to TP. I've got 48 as a TP on the bid, sorry, on the ask, and it got there on the ask pretty sure. It's only a 4-pip spread. It got a 43, should have gone a 48. That's surprising. It should have been knocked out. I presume you got 97.48 as your TP. That's on the buy, remember, or the ask, not on the bid. And that definitely was 48 just now, I can see. Just hit it. Okay. That's pretty good, eh? Now, we'll go back to emotions here. I bet everyone's hit TP there. All said to us, God, I wish I'd gone in bigger. Don't be tempted. Easy in hindsight. You're going twice as large the next one because you only made 100 and you could have made 200 or whatever. And the next one doesn't go. Now you've got a problem. You get the idea. So be disciplined. If you want to risk 100, risk it all the trades. You want to risk 200, all the trades. Not 50 on one, 250 on another one, because it seemed like a good idea at the time. You don't know. And remember, there's a lot of emotion flying around the world there. You know, and fine, he's not on at the moment, but we have had situations where you've asked me, why does that happen? And I can say maybe some big emotional reason. It makes no sense. So always be careful of that. Get your volumes right. That's good news anyway. Okay. Just 10 minutes to go. Hope some little bit of my going on a little bit in the last few minutes did help. Thank you, because it's very important what pressures are set. And she came to the party by saying she did the same thing, long time on the demo, and blah, waiting up when she first went live in the middle of the night and worried about it. And not even staying back, said, I've just been out for a meal, it's cost me 500 rand, and I'm staying in the middle of the night, so I'm 20 rand down. Not even put in perspective, that's pure emotion taking over. We're always going to have it, but understand it better. Okay, now we've got a couple out today. I think it was the AUD chef. It's a little bit of profit, not shooting the lights out, he's profit. What's the AUD NZD doing? Not particularly well by the look of it. But not well at all. Okay, your stop is down there. Just hope it's going to come right. If you haven't joined it now, you might want to see if a bounce there to join it. But I still see the upside. I think it's a good chance that's going to hold, but we shall see. It's probably out of the chart. Not looking very pretty at the moment. Get that if that happens. You got to stick with your strategy, Mike. EUR AUD. That was a buy. Slightly off, but not disastrous. So run. GBP USD. Slightly up, but yeah, we'll still stick with the strategy. Want to just cover that again before we finish up here, guys. Very important. You got a strategy, stick with it. You're not going to pick bottoms or tops. You can go in now, right? And then 20 minutes later, it's down here. You've got a big smile on your face. Then you get a call saying, I've got to go and pick someone up. I'm going to go and do it. I don't know, whatever, you got to go. And you go out and it's back up here again. Oh, it's going against me. Should I close it? That's emotions taking over. You got your protective stop. You got your TP in. It's too early to even play around with your SL. Leave the thing in place. If it starts going to handsome profit, bring your SL down on the short, bring it up on a buy, and keep a distance behind. And don't stare at all the time. Look, I'm not staring at mine, am I? You get the idea. So that's how it works. Okay, that's the way. Work on that mind of yours. Work on it. Think of Messi, or if you like, I don't know, Serena Williams, or other tennis, whatever it is. Think of what makes them so special. Right, they're talented, obviously, but the big difference in your part of the talent, and you and everybody else, is the mental strength. Got to work on that, the discipline, the boring stuff. Okay, and the other one, NZD USD. I just want to go over part closing, just going in. NZD USD from you guys this morning, 61.55. I'll try and get that one out to the QT group, actually. We'll do that after 11 o'clock. Now, I mentioned just now about part closing. I'm pretty sure some guys still don't know that. So we look at part closing a trade. I'm in the GBP CHF, and this is my volume, okay? I decide, I'm not going to do it, but I'm using this as an example. I decide I want to bank. I don't have to close the entire trade. I can bank some of it, all right? So I decide I'm going to close some of that. How much do I want to close? I've got 12 micros there, and let's say I want to close 5 micros. I don't know why, but I do, okay? I go and double click, it's below volume there on the trade. See, I highlight it, double click, and this box comes up. I want to close, I say 5, so we put 0.05. Obviously, if you've got 1 micro, you don't have common sense, you can't pass, close, it's the minimum. If I'm get exhausted explaining out, I've been often things that should be understood through common sense, but really not. Okay, 5 micros. Then I click the close button, bang. Now what's happened? I banked 5. This obviously figure will be reduced, and this will be reduced to 0.07. Have we all got that? If not, we've got a couple of minutes. Let's get this right. So you can, if you want to bank part of your position, you can, as long as you've got better than 1 micro. Anybody not know that, I'll do it again. If you do know, I'll waste everyone's time. No reply, so you all got it. Okay, great stuff, guys. Any questions? Just a couple of minutes to go, so I just want to clarify anything you're not sure of. What is a micro? No, you need to know lot sizes: standard lot, mini, and micro. 0.01 is a micro, 0.1 is a mini, 1.0 is a standard lot. If I want to increase, like I mentioned before, if you want to add to your position, you've got to take a new order out. I just bought a pair of shoes from the shop, but I like the shoes. I want another pair like it. I go back to the shop and buy another pair of shoes. Same thing. So if I go here, put them up here, find what there. Where's it gone now? There we go. 0.01 is a micro. So I say it's 50 Rand a micro, it means 50 Rand per micro, 0.01. 0.01 takes all day. Micro is easier, no more, no less. Okay. Thanks instead of thank you. It's quicker to say it. Okay. So it's 50 Rand a micro, and you want to risk 100, you go 2 micros. That's how you do it. Okay. Hope that's clear. If you want to increase, you've already got 4 micros of NZD USD and you like it, you can afford it, good enough free margin, enough balance, you're not breaking up your equity management, you go back towards NZD USD and you want to, let's say, sell another 4. You go to put 004 in and have it. Now you've got 2 orders open. And remember, if you've got 2 orders open at 0.04, you don't have to close both of them, you can close maybe 1 micro of each of them. Get to know what you can do, your platform, etc. Because remember, there's institutions out there, they've got fancy PhDs, very fancy strategies, covered positions, all sorts of fancy derivatives, where we're protecting, very expensive computers. You're always competing out there with people who, got faster cars than you. So you might as well get to know at least the car you're driving to get the odds on this side. Trying to tackle an international $1 trillion market without the cooking clue what the hell you're doing. Well, no. I've just done a 3-day surgeon's course. Now, some have got this like a sharp knife. And you said you got a problem in your stomach there. I think I'll catch you up and try and solve it for you. It's my first time I've ever done it. I can say, oh, yes, please do that, Roger, or you're going to scream out for help to get rid of me. You get my point. Imagine the worst scenario from perspective. So yeah, you can decrease your lot size, your trade size. If you want to increase it, you take a new order out. It's funny here. You'll be funny, Chris, if you're on the operating table and you've gone in there for an appendicitis, and I pop my head in and say, yeah, I'm sick of this broking business. I fancy there's more money in being a surgeon. So I've done this 3-day course. I haven't really looked at it much. But I got this knife in my hand and I approach you. There's going to be some screams going on from Mr. Skippers, trust me. I find the best way to get it across to people is using analogies and a bit of comedy and ultra ridiculous scenarios. Makes you laugh, but hopefully behind it gets the point. Because unfortunately, I'm telling you right now, I've got an enormous amount of people out there who don't attend anything and are trading. And I tell you what, they are approaching you on the operating table with a knife after a 3-day course they haven't even read and want to operate on you, wondering why the person's not keen. Okay, 11 o'clock. Okay, yeah, we'll call it a day. Right, as I say, you've got my number and everything else. You need assistance. It's part of the service. How much it costs? Squat. Part of the service. All ask returns help me to help you. I'll do it again tomorrow morning. And then we can take it from there. Have a nice one, guys. And the trades are okay at the moment. Well, the old ones are. The new ones, one's okay, the other's a bit iffy, but they might, during the day, going in tomorrow, go better. Don't forget, hold on. Don't hold on to your losses, but hold on to your winners, modify, and run with it. Okay, guys. Hello, 1 second. Okay, I'm just going to close up now and take this call, and I'll be on again tomorrow. Cheers, guys.